The current sentiment on Bitcoin is at an all-time low. And to me, that just screams opportunity for alts because usually when we top, we're not going to see 100 people calling for a top and panic being at all-time highs. And right now, that's what it feels like. It feels like people are exaggerating the drop on Bitcoin when it's simply back to the prices it was at the beginning of July. So nothing to worry about yet in my eyes, and this panic is very much overblown, but I like it because it gives me a chance to load up on alts that are undervalued that otherwise would be ripping. I'm over here talking to my group about how I'm going to be looking to buy certain alts, and I've been sharing those plays over the weeks. Even on my channel, I've been talking about them, and I'm going to continue to talk about them, especially in this video, because I want to highlight the opportunity that these red days present, because this is where you get most of the gains as coins have drawn down about 50 to 60%, and you get the opportunity to buy coins or at a massive discount that will eventually run to hundreds of millions of dollars. So we're going to talk about the virtuals ecosystem in this video simply because it is coming alive more and more each day, and I want to highlight the opportunity here because I don't think it's going to last forever. So we're going to go over a couple of projects that I have here. We're going to start with RCAT. RCAT has been dead since the beginning of the year, and we had a little bit of a pump in April, but then it died back down to about 312K. If you bought RCAT here, you would simply be up about 1,300% in a very short amount of time. Of course, it's very hard to catch things at the bottom, but that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that there's opportunities out there that exist right now, like RCAT, where if you just dig into some coins, you will find some crazy fundamentals that don't make sense to be sitting at 262,000 market cap. And that's especially true today because the sentiment is so bad. People have just given up on alts or are selling alts or are not interested in alts. But in the future, the charts will simply pull an RCAT. And the reason RCAT went up is because they have partnered up with Circle. Excited to share the news that we have joined the Circle Alliance program. And this is the Circle that owns USDC, the second largest stablecoin in crypto. A global community of teams focused on bringing world on-chain powered by USDC, which is absolutely insane. This is a coin no one really has heard of, and they come to partner with Circle, which gives them huge credibility. So obviously people are going to start buying it with the speculation that it goes a lot higher and their AI agent has a value. And there's a lot of AI agents like that. This is just one of them. Another example is Min. Min is called Meta Inside by Virtuals, and essentially what it allows you to do is to build dApps using prompts. So you could go ahead and instead of hiring a team of developers, you could simply go ahead and try to build the dApp yourself using AI as it learns and iterates on the application you're trying to build. And it's going to save you a lot of time and money. So the reason why it's blowing up right now is because it got a lot of activity from the dev, and he's been tweeting out that the project is still alive and in development. And not only that, but there's also information coming out as to who's working on the app. And over here you can see Andrew Choi. He's ex-tech lead of Coinbase, and you can see he's working on the Meta Inside app. So that's why this project has begun finding a surge of buyers come in, and why it's valued at 4 million now, and it was just valued at 500K about 10 days ago. So these are the kind of opportunities that exist on virtuals, and I think there's a handful more out there where the fundamentals exist, but the chart is asleep. And I could point out some more. There's Legend, for example, and they've got some big backers on this project. I mean, if you just go to the website and go ahead and check who's backing them, you can see right here on their website, it talks about how Animoca Brands is backing them. Right there, you've got Animoca Brands, you've got Lightspeed as a VC, you've got Delphi Ventures, Ubisoft, Verizon, and a bunch of other people backing them. There's a crazy fundamentals on this. The only thing that I can find that is weak on this project is the team that is being featured, which is Costa di Amalfi, which is an Italian team, and they don't seem to be the biggest team or the greatest team as of right now, which might hinder the hype. But if they happen to onboard another team under the Legend platform, I could see this going crazy because it has the exact fundamentals you need to have a min-type play. So this is all happening with Bitcoin sentiment being absolutely in the gutter. What happens when Bitcoin begins to improve? And not only that, what happens when virtual begins to go up? Because right now we are still trending towards the downside. Very little volatility on virtuals, but eventually this wedge is going to break to the upside, as this is the pattern that sends it to the upside. As soon as we have alt season on base, you can imagine that virtual is going to pump up, and all the projects within virtuals are going to gain some more hype. From April to May on Santa, you had about a 2,000% move on the monthly, and these projects are beginning to gain more traction. I've talked about Santa a bunch on my channel, and you guys can see the monthly volume for August exceeded all the monthly volume in the past month. So there is renewed interest. Yes, we currently have an ugly wick here because of the sentiment on Bitcoin causing the sell-off on alts, but the point is people are watching these charts and will begin to bid these charts as soon as sentiment improves and all these other things go off, like virtuals flying to the upside, and you have Bitcoin going up, and you have Bitcoin dominance going down, and Ethereum breaking 5K. All these different pieces to the puzzle will soon make sense for people to bid on virtual projects. Now, as far as the negative sentiment, I can also understand why people are panicking, because USDT dominance has gone to the upside and is currently targeting about 4.6%. So another 10%, or I should say 0.10% move to the upside, and we'll see if we can break through this level. The next level we're going to target is about 4.97.5% if we happen to break through here. As of right now, still not sold on the breakthrough. We want to see us break. We rejected here in the past, we rejected there in the past, and then once we broke here, we went all the way up to 5%. So these are the next levels to watch for the USDT dominance, and that's going to give us more of an opportunity. So the idea here is to DCA in and not go all in at once, because if you don't have any dry powder left, you're not going to be able to maximize the gains on the alts once they begin turning around. On the others chart dominance, you can see it is holding steady, staying about 7.87%, even though the market is taking a hit. So pretty good here. We talked about the volume increasing on our last video, and that remains true. You can still see that volume does exist there, and we're waiting for us to actually break out of this downtrend here in the next coming months. The idea that we were going to have a bearish September is now slowly being deconstructed away, simply because people are front running that narrative. So I would say the first week, maybe the first 2 weeks of September are going to be bearish. And then I would expect towards the end of September, the bullishness return. AI market cap still holding this trend line, still completing the pattern, and maybe the second week of September does actually yield us breaking towards the upside and moving up higher for the AI sector, which would be incredibly bullish for all the AI agents I've been mentioning, especially in my Telegram group. And then next, we've got the DeFi market cap actually heading towards the downside. And we're still waiting for Ethereum to trend towards the downside, because we have that level at about 3,800 to 3,600 still hasn't been tapped. And I could see Ethereum moving without Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has actually been moving lower than Ethereum. Ethereum's been holding up much better, and you guys can see that by the FBTC chart. So if we begin getting some red on Ethereum while Bitcoin holds steady, I wouldn't be surprised there. I would actually expect it as we get a nice correction on Ethereum that is much needed. And memes are trending sideways right now. Wouldn't be surprised to get this liquidity down here and then turn to the upside like that in the coming weeks. So all in all, my focus is on AI agents primarily right now, specifically on base with a few plays on Solana. But I am out there digging for more AI agents that are undervalued in the 200 to under $1 million range, because I do think those are going to give us the most returns, the most bang for our buck, and I still think they exist out there, as people are finding more and more agents come out of the woodwork every day to see that the teams are actually building and have some fundamental value backing them. We'll also be keeping an eye on Legend to see if it actually does begin moving towards the upside, because I do think this could be a sleeper as well, but we still need to see the volume increase. We had a little bit of a volume increase here, but nothing sustained, and we've been trading sideways for the past couple of weeks. So still want to see us break past 300K, show us signs of life, and maybe some fundamental updates that will take us higher than these levels we've been before and up to the millions of dollars up here. So that's what we're focusing on right now, virtuals economy, and then we'll see what happens after virtuals takes off. So as for now, guys, that is the update for this weekend. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys again next time.